this video, I'm going to show you my personal protein meal prep hacks and tricks, the ones I truly use that really help me add more protein into my life. I am no chef. I don't have those cooking skills, kaya sure ako magagawa nyo to kahit hindi kayo masyadong nagluluto. So let me show you some of the ways that I like to prep my protein. But first, we have to go to the grocery. We are at the grocery because before you can do any protein meal prep, you need your protein sources first. Both a source of protein and fiber, your baked and canned beans will be a go-to source. Sardines can provide around 12 grams of protein per can. You also have the option for canned chicken breast, but I will admit it's expensive in the Philippines. And that's one of the things we're gonna meal prep. Dairy can also provide us with protein. Milk and cheese, one serving, can give us around 8 grams of protein. You know, an underrated source of protein is Greek yogurt. One serving is 12 grams. But I do want to say, it's very different from Greek-style yogurt, where the protein content is different, and it's overall different. And we can't forget one of the best plant-based sources of protein, tofu, a complete protein source that comes from plants. It's also so versatile. Eggs are always a great idea. I feel like the biggest struggles around our protein intake right now is one, the repetitiveness of having to eat the same types of protein in the same ways again and again, and variety would be very important. Number two would be the amount per meal. Sometimes you feel like you have to eat so much protein in one sitting that you get kind of sick of it. A general rule of thumb is to have 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal and 10 to 15 grams of protein in your snacks. The reason for this is that spreading out your protein intake can make it a lot easier to consume rather than you eating a whole chicken in one meal. And number three, which pretty much goes with all meals, is having to prepare it, having the time to prep it, especially if a lot of us are stuck in traffic or pretty busy. That's why meal prepping can be super helpful for your budget, for your time, at para na rin makakain ka ng protina. Now that we have our protein sources and all of our ingredients, let me show you how to meal prep. Let's start with what will be the easiest one, the chicken thigh. When it comes to meal prep, you don't have to cook everything. Sometimes meal prep includes marinating meats. I usually just add soy sauce, vinegar, and sugar as my base. Ay, may butas. And just make sure it spreads out. Now I'm gonna pop it into the prime fresh. You can also do that with any meat and any seasoning. Kaya kahit anong araw sa linggo, tatanggalin mo na lang, iluluto mo, and boom, you have a protein source. Next, we're gonna prep what is probably the most popular protein source, which if cooked improperly can taste bland and boring. But let's handle some chicken breast. I don't like to meal prep a chicken breast dish, like a chicken breast stir fry or anything like that, kasi pagka ininit mo siya ulit, sometimes it ends up a lot more dry, and then I don't really enjoy it. My favorite way to meal prep chicken breast is to make it into flakes. The main thing we're gonna do is to chop up the chicken into cubes and boil it with some ginger and salt. Now this step is very tedious. It is shredding the chicken. If you have other ways you prefer to shred it without using your hands, go for it. This is essentially a cheaper version of canned chicken breast that now you can add to anything. Pwede mo siya idagdag sa kanin, sa omelette, sa noodles. It's a really easy way to add protein to any dish that you like. By the way, you can also make chicken flakes with chicken thigh or chicken leg if you feel like chicken breast is too dry of a source for this. Mahirap lang kasi makahanap ng chicken thigh fillet, kaya madalas nagbe-breast na lang kami. She wants it. And there's our chicken breast that we can make into spread or add into any dish. Or you can also take half of this and make chicken adobo flakes. It is a little bit dry, so you may have to add a little bit of oil before eating. This one is easy but may take a bit of time, especially if you want a crunchy flake. Saute it in a pan with soy sauce, vinegar, and some sugar until you get a crisp. Not me burning my food again. Tofu is also a great meal prep. But if you're not a fan of the texture or maybe the taste of tofu, ito yung isang paraan ng pagluluto na baka mas ma-enjoy mo. Because it's gonna give you a different texture at pwede mo siya dagdagan ng iba't iba pang mga lasa. Stir fries are a great way to get a balanced meal prep in. You have to chop your veggies, cook it with your protein source, and then just add a sauce or flavor you like. Pwede na rin yung vegetarian stir fry na sauce. You can make a garlic stir fry, a black bean stir fry, or even a sweet and sour stir fry. Leave it up to the imagination. This is a stir fry you can do with any protein source, not just tofu. Here's our 3 protein meal prep so far. Shredded chicken breast, adobo flakes, and a tofu stir fry. One of my biggest protein tips is to figure out what meal of the day you struggle most with getting enough protein. Kasi para sa akin, almusal yun. I mean, I love a chicken sandwich, an egg sandwich, and even a silog meal, but most of the time I'd rather have something a little bit more light. And if I want something sweet, like pancakes or cereal, I don't want to force adding protein into it if it's not going to make any sense. An egg spread can be stretched in so many ways, although make sure to keep it in the refrigerator not more than 3 days. I also make an egg spread which you can have with your crackers for a snack, or maybe an egg sando for breakfast. Egg sando as in egg sandwich in Japanese, and not egg sando as in egg t-shirt, okay? Crackers and egg spread. When snacks tend to be high carb, we want to add a little bit of protein. Now, I do want to say a lot of this meal prep is chicken and eggs, but you can definitely shift it for other types of protein. Sa bahay kasi namin, hindi kumakain yung tatay ko ng pork at saka ng beef, kaya madalas chicken yung ginagamit namin. The next meal prep we're making is some ramen eggs. I think this is going to be one of the simplest ways you can add protein and a lot of flavor to your meals. Water. So first is to boil eggs. A little bit of vinegar in the water. Fudge! And that's a filming casualty. Now you're gonna boil as many eggs as you can. I'm doing 6 eggs. The brown ones are for my dad because he's allergic to eggs, but he doesn't get itchy when it's an organic egg. And brown doesn't automatically mean organic, but that's the one that he bought. Boil it to the doneness that you like. I want it to be less soft-boiled, but not fully hard-boiled. Okay. I meant to say Korean eggs, mayak eggs, not ramen eggs. You marinate your eggs with some garlic, soy sauce, water, sesame oil, and sugar. You can also add in some MSG or even some spring onions, or maybe even some chili peppers if you want it spicy.
But you love
Now we have our mayak eggs. You have to let it marinate. That is so important, which is why it is perfect for meal prep. And then you can pop it with rice, add some veggies, super easy. Meal prepping is not about having every single dish ready to eat throughout the week. It's just about making your life easier. Kaya kung minsan kailangan mo lang ng chicken o kailangan mo ng itlog na prepared na at luto na, kayang-kaya natin yun gawin. Protein! This is just some of those ways, and not even something that you have to do, but hopefully it gives you a bit of ideas. Let me know if you want more videos like this, and don't forget to subscribe. Sana nakatulong tong video na to sa inyo, especially if you're somebody who doesn't really know how to cook, because if I can do it, you can do it. Till the next one, you always deserve to eat.
The video's over, but that doesn't mean you have to go. You can still subscribe or watch another video. Thanks for watching.